So I remember leaving the MTC, you fly to the mission home, which for the Nairobi mission is in Kenya. It's in the Nairobi city. And so we went to the mission home, which is in Upper Hill, and met with the mission president. He has an interview with you, kind of gets you accustomed to the mission home and office there. And then then he assigns you or tells you where you're going to be serving and your first companion or your trainer and such. I was assigned for my first area to go to Dar es Salaam in Tanzania, and so that meant, I guess I arrived there, slept over at the assistant's apartment, and then met with the mission president the next day. But I jumped right back on a plane and flew down to Dar es Salaam. And so that was my first area, was in an area called the Bungo, and I served with my trainer, Elder Nsile, and we just, I mean, it was a pretty typical, I guess, like, first experience. You're still trying to get down, like, the lessons very well and other things, but the major thing is that what I noticed is that, especially in both countries, I guess, that people aren't super familiar with the gospel. They are pretty good scriptorians because they're very religious people, but they also have a great respect for missionaries or men of God, as they call you. And so you don't really experience a lot of like people spitting on you or anything like that, because they have a general respect for anyone that's like trying to do missionary work. But it was hard. I guess the most difficult part about going straight to Tanzania is that they don't speak English, and they only or exclusively speak Swahili. And so I didn't ever learn that in the MTC. They don't teach it in the MTC currently. And so in addition to trying to teach the lessons or learn the lessons in English, I was now having to learn Swahili at the same time. So that was a little bit difficult, but my companion was very helpful. I mean, he would teach me a little bit by day or every day in the morning, but we didn't take an hour for like language study just because we were busy, and so we just do it throughout the day, which I thought was helpful because there's no better teacher than experience, and so I would just kind of go through the day with my broken Swahili and try. When I was serving there, they didn't let us teach in Swahili, and so we'd contact and meet with people in Swahili. But then when it came to teaching, we would have to switch over to English because the church didn't have all the materials that they wanted or needed for the church to be able to rerun in Swahili published yet or translated yet. Currently, or right now at least, they are allowing it to be taught in Swahili. So the missionaries now know Swahili a lot better than I do. And so now they actually teach in Swahili. So mine was kind of a weird transition stage in where we could talk with people and meet with people in Swahili, but when it came to teaching, we had to do it all in English. So that was my experience. I served in two different areas. Three different areas in Dar es Salaam. I served in Ubungo, like I mentioned, for a transfer and a half. There was some complications elsewhere in the mission, and then it caused me to get transferred in the middle of a transfer to be someone else's companion. So I served then in Kinondoni and then in Kinondoni too. So those are just some different areas in Dar es Salaam. It's hot. I guess that's one impression that you get. Dar es Salaam is very hot and humid. I think it's probably the hottest and most humid place on the mission. And I've been to every area, so I can say that with full confidence. I believe it is the hottest and most humid part of the mission. But I mean, just normal missionary attire. You don't ever wear suits. Some missionaries will wear them to zone conferences, and that was the typical thing. But during your proselyting or even to, like, I don't know, church or anything, you just wear a white shirt and tie. Some missionaries chose to wear their suits on Sunday, but most didn't. So